You Christopher Browell. Let's see now.
This is the Vodafone voicemail service for 07769247196. Please leave a message after the tone. When you finish recording, please hang up or press the hash key for more options.
Yes, hello, Mr. Browell. It's Mr. Hussein here, once again leaving yourself a daily message asking to know the whereabouts and welfare of my brother Talib Hussein. Today is day 75 that you've unlawfully kidnapped him without giving us any information regarding the legal framework that you've used to abduct him. And also, today is the 22nd of October 2023, and it's time is around about 12 o'clock, and I see the fact that you, the local authority, have simply refused to engage with me, whereas in the past you have always you always had the power and the authority to come down whenever you pleased in order to do a welfare check. How many welfare checks have you done in relation to my brother Talib, in collaboration with the welfare checks that you've done for my mother? All those welfare checks that you've been doing were never in the interest of either my brother or my mother. They were only ever in your own personal interest, in order to pervert the course of justice, in order for you to have an advantage in court proceedings that you were pursuing in parallel. And it's just indicative of yourselves to simply have a complete disdain and disrespect for the court system, because, as you know, how can you respect something that you yourself are prostituting out? Services that you're prostituting out. You have no respect for the court system, because the court systems bend over backwards and prostitute out their service to you, the local authority. So you have no respect for them, and also the fact that the courts and the judicial system can do you no harm. So therefore, you have no respect against an entity or the judicial system who you can buy off and also can do you no harm. Whereas we, the people, are obviously respectful to the judicial system, because we require justice to be carried out. We don't go around with our own weapons or acting unilaterally. We work in society, and we need the legal or the judicial system to act as it's supposed to do, namely to dispense justice, because we require justice, because we are weakened by the apparatus of the state. And as a result of which, we have a great deal of respect, and should we fail to respect the courts, you, the local authority, or the courts can send us to prison, deprive us further of our freedom and liberties. So you see, we are respectful to the court system, but you have no respect for the court system or the judicial system, and you do as you please. Now, all I've asked is that give me the legal framework of having abducted my brother. You can't provide us with a legal framework because you know it's unlawful. The real reason that you have abducted my brother was simply this: that in collaboration with the housing association, you were desperate to get him to get a capacity assessment. It's always been about this damned capacity assessment, which you want one way and one way only, and that is to your advantage, irrespective of what my brother's mental health is or my brother's mental state is. You want this capacity in order to have leverage and control over my brother's life, and by de facto or by proxy, you want to control over my life. And this is the situation that we've been facing for the last 5 years or more, is because you're targeting my brother, or you're targeting me through my brother. And this is just the latest occurrence, isn't it? Now, on the 8th of August, you've abducted my brother without any legal framework. You were aware that my brother does not speak English. You were aware that my brother has hearing problems. You were aware that you needed a mental capacity advocate in order to engage with my brother. You'd bought nothing of this. You didn't even come down, Mr. Browell. You got one of your colleagues to come down, Andrew something, who I've never met before. And also, I remind myself that both you and your manager, your new manager, in the absence of Vicina Brown, Mohammed Fayaz, had come down in December. So why did Mohammed Fayaz not come down on the 8th of August to translate You had no translator on site. You had no means to communicate with my brother. You just simply needed a pretext to abduct my brother, and therefore, in order to achieve that, you've arrested me. You come into the house. If you've arrested me and come into the house and taken my brother, why would you take his passports for? I once again remind myself, why would you come into our house and take his passports if it was not for the fact that you had pre-planned this for a permanent exercise to abduct my brother and hold him captive like you are doing? This was all a premeditated enterprise, and you just needed a trigger or a pretext in order to get my brother, and that trigger or pretext has continuously failed throughout 2022. You had instructed my niece Shagufta to come on down and raise that trigger. You had got my brother Adalat to poison us to raise the trigger. You had even in January this year tried to get Adalat me to take my brother to Adalat so he can raise that trigger. You had previously got the Housing Association, Gas Safety and the Engineers to raise that trigger. You had got nobody to raise the trigger. Now you're telling me the fact that my neighbours had said that, oh, we just see him outside all the time. There was no real reason for you to come down. It was a predetermined, contrived issue because you wanted to assist the Housing Association with the capacity assessment, and you were fearful that because there was no penal order in place forcing my compliance, as the judge had failed to put in a penal order in place this time, that you would fail to get the capacity assessment. So
15 seconds recording time remaining.
okay, Mr. Browell, so you were fearful of not getting the capacity assessment, and therefore you did this, and now it's 75 days later, and we have no idea where my brother is. It's a lovely sunny day out today, and I wanted to be able to take my brother out and to help him, but you have kidnapped him, and you're holding him hostage in some dungeon that we do not know about.
Your recording time has expired. To leave your message, press 1. To review message, press 2. When you finish recording, please hang up or press the hash key for more options.
Okay, Mr. Browell, I just wanted to say the fact that, well, let me see. Hush.
To leave your message, press 1. To review message, press 2. To re-record message, press 3. To cancel message and hang up, press 4.
3. Okay, Mr. Browell, I just wanted to say the fact that, well, let me see.
To leave your message, press 1. To review message, press 2. To re-record message, press 3. To cancel message and hang up, press 4.
What?
Message sent. Thank you for calling. Goodbye.
Okay, I made a bit of a mistake here. Well, I didn't. It's nothing that he's not going to anyway listen to, but it's basically I pressed a re-record button when I shouldn't have done, and that's resulted in him not getting the message. But it doesn't matter anyway. I didn't say anything that's he needs to be aware of. It's 75 days later. They've kidnapped my brother. They've this all contrivance. They're refusing to let me see him, and so obviously I've recorded this on my end, and I'm going to publicize it, but it just goes to show that there's nothing I can do now in order to get my brother back. They have done this through a malicious contrivance, because what they wanted to do was they wanted to force a capacity assessment on my brother. My brother has a right to refuse, and they're refusing to. They're depriving him of his liberty to the right to refuse. And this is the thing, you see, they demand things, and they don't recognize that. My brother says no. He's already done a capacity assessment. How many more times do we need to do a capacity assessment for you to get an advantage over him? This is all fraudulent and corrupt on the part of the local authority. They know it, I know it, and now they must tether this line of outwardly looking to say that they're looking in my brother's best interest, when the reality has always been and remains that my brother has had mental capacity, is authorized me to act on his behalf, thus undermining their criminal conviction, and therefore they are getting desperate now and kidnapping my brother maybe torturing him, maybe doing anything that they want in order to get what they require, and that is to force through a capacity assessment that to the detriment of my brother, to the interest of the local authority, in order to pursue their own actions, or in order to protect themselves from the villainy that they've done against us and the family in the past. I live in fear for my brother's life. I live in fear for my own life, because there is simply nobody else that you can turn to. If the judges, the police, the health authorities, the members of parliament, if all of them are closing ranks and targeting me, there's no one I can turn to. And so it's very fearful, but I have strong faith in my Lord and Creator that I'll be saved from these evil, villainous people that are acting